Right now at 6, the latest round in the battle over tribal sovereignty takes place in an Oklahoma court.
And we've got a cold start to the day. Chilly, breezy, but sunny. Look at that forecast. Get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, a dramatic moment caught on camera as a train carves through a semi-truck trailer in Jasper County.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Wednesday, December the 11th, Christmas. It's 2 weeks from today.
Oh, I'm excited.
I am too. I'm really excited about this.
I had a little bit of like a Thanksgiving hangover last week, but I'm ready for cookies. I'm ready for everything. Trees all up, shopping for presents. It's time.
Yeah, I got one more shopping trip this weekend, I think, and then that's it. I have everything we need and probably things we don't need, but that's kind of the point sometimes with Christmas.
Yeah.
It's the things you didn't really know you needed, right? But then there are the things you do need, like I need some pajamas, mine are getting old. I need some new ones, and that's what it's weird. You get to adult stage, and that's what you're wishing for Christmas.
I know. My brother asked, he's like, for socks. I was like, well, okay, I'll just get you
I want some socks
for
and pajamas and a nice new skillet. The weird things you want.
Easy enough. Yeah. All right.
Well, we've got some cold temperatures today, so if you are doing Christmas shopping, do make sure you wear a coat because it's also going to be breezy. Quick look outside. Our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear, and as is the case from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line in Joplin. On the future track by this afternoon, northwest winds out there gusting 25, maybe 30 miles an hour. Sunny skies, though. We should make the low 40s. Some of us may only make the upper 30s for our highs today. And then late this evening and overnight, a warm front gets close, starts shifting our winds out of the south. Doesn't help us tonight, but will start helping us as we head into our Thursday. 30 in both Joplin and in Pittsburgh, and across the area, we've still got a mix of some upper 20s and low 30s. Seeing a lot more low 30s right now than we were before. But once you factor in even the light breeze we have right now, it is cold. All of us, now including Sedan, feels like it's in the 20s, so you definitely want to wear that coat. And today, with those gusty winds, it's still going to feel like it's in the 30s most of today, regardless of how warm you do or do not get. So if you are going out, bundle up. 30, when the kids get on the bus, clear skies, west winds 5 to 10. Well, that bus brings them home. The northwest winds gusting 25, maybe even 30. Still sunny. And about 41, and that's where our highs are headed. Low 40s out there again, maybe some upper 30s. Skies will be clear, and then we'll start seeing a few clouds later this evening ahead of that warm front. Like I said, the warm front isn't going to help us tonight. In fact, it's going to make things a little worse tomorrow morning because we'll be in the 20s, and we're going to have gusty south winds, making it feel a lot colder. But then as we head through the rest of Thursday and into the weekend, it really warms up. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. An appeals court rules the city of Tulsa has the authority to prosecute a non-member Indigenous defendant for offenses committed within eastern Oklahoma in Indian Territory. Now, Quapaw Nation believes this ruling is harmful to tribal sovereignty. The case began when an Osage citizen was arrested for DUI in 2021. The charges were initially dismissed based on the McGrid decision. The McGrid versus Oklahoma case said that much of eastern Oklahoma is Indian territory, so the state has limited criminal jurisdiction. But the Oklahoma Court of Appeals overturned the dismissal, and Quapaw says the ruling underscores tensions between federal, state, and tribal authorities regarding jurisdiction in Indian country.
When tribal sovereignty is infringed upon, it's not in a single sledgehammer. It's death by 100 cuts. And when you allow one of those cuts to take place, eventually, if there are enough of those, you bleed.
Well, she hopes the decision will be reconsidered. And take a look at this video from yesterday afternoon. A camera captures the moment when a train slices through a tractor-trailer truck. Now, this was on Enterprise Road near Joplin-Webb City line around 1:45 p.m. Now, fire departments from both jurisdictions responded, and remarkably, the truck driver is apparently unhurt. The train engineer has what appears to be a minor shoulder injury. You can look for more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, yesterday, the Joplin Regional Community Foundation awarded more than $24,000 in grant money to 16 local agencies. The event took place at the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce. Now, representatives from each of the recipient organizations had the opportunity to discuss their missions and share their plans for the upcoming year.
To provide blankets and coats, winter coats, to refugees who are new to the United States. A lot of our refugees come from countries where it's not cold and they don't come with appropriate clothing or blankets or anything like that. You're not going to travel with that. So to be able to provide those fundamental needs when they arrive here is huge.
Most recipients at the event supported low-income families, and some also said they'd love to see improvements in business affairs and homelessness in the area. Well, as the holiday season approaches, drivers are decking their cars out with festive decorations, but safety should always come first on the road. Now, while it's okay to have non-lighted decorations, experts recommend turning off any lights while driving.
It's okay to have decorations. They're not luminous or lighted, at least while you're operating on the highway, but if you're going to be on the road, it's probably better to turn them off. That way you're not distracting other drivers.
Now in Kansas, there are specific guidelines for vehicle lighting. Headlights must be white or amber, side turn signals should be amber, and rear lights can be red, amber, or white. Now, additionally, when driving, only 4 headlights are allowed and all decorations must be turned off for safety. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The International Air Transport Association says the global airline industry could rake in more than $1 trillion in revenue next year. Plus, the suspect in the murder of United Healthcare CEO remains behind bars after a judge denies bail. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. A significant chapter in modern music history has come to a close, the Eras Tour. Well, Taylor Swift performed her final Eras Tour concert in Vancouver on Sunday, and now comes a confirmation that the tour made history in ticket sales. According to the New York Times, the singer's production company confirmed the Eras Tour grossed more than $2 billion. That's the highest grossing concert tour ever. In all, Swift performed for over 10 million people worldwide during 149 shows over 21 months. The global airline industry could reach a historic milestone. The International Air Transport Association says airlines could rake in more than $1 trillion in revenue next year. This comes as passenger numbers could hit an all-time high of 5 billion. Now, according to trade groups, airlines' average profit per passenger could increase to around $7 next year. And 18 months ago, the profit per passenger was just $2.25. And this is a stunning rebound for an industry that came to a near halt during the pandemic. Well, Walgreens is reportedly looking to take itself private in a deal with Sycamore Partners. The news sent Walgreens stock nearly 20% higher Tuesday. The Wall Street Journal reported the Bellegarde drugstore giant and the private equity firm are discussing a deal that could be completed in early 2025. Now, details of the potential deal are still being worked on, and the Journal reports Sycamore typically focuses on smaller deals, so it would likely sell off pieces of Walgreens to make the acquisition more financially manageable. Sycamore had no comment on the Wall Street Journal report, and Walgreens Boots Alliance, which owns Walgreens, says it doesn't comment on rumors and speculation. The suspect in last week's brutal murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson remains behind bars in Pennsylvania after a judge denied bail yesterday. At one point, Luigi Mangione struggled and yelled at the press as sheriff's deputies transported him to the courthouse. He's also expected to fight extradition to New York on second-degree murder charges. Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Shouting to the cameras.
Completely out of touch and insult the intelligence of the American people.
Luigi Mangione entered a Pennsylvania courthouse defiant Tuesday. The 26-year-old Maryland native denied bail and fighting extradition to New York, where he's charged with second-degree murder, accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Mangione's lawyer says he plans to plead not guilty.
I haven't seen any evidence that says that he's the shooter.
Altoona police arrested the suspect Monday after he was spotted at this McDonald's.
It's unbelievable.
This man says he was there at the same time.
I thought it was everyone was kidding around. The one guy said, "That looks like the shooter from New York."
According to investigators, police found Mangione with a 3D printed gun and a silencer, similar to the one used in the shooting, plus a handwritten 3-page note reading in part, "These parasites simply had it coming."
He explained his reasons for doing what he did, which in his mind was precisely to deplore the state of healthcare in the United States.
Mangione had complained about a back injury on social media.
I do know that he was suffering from a spinal misalignment that had been ongoing for quite some time. I just feel heartbroken, somebody that I loved and cared about, that could have done something so hideous.
Authorities say the extradition process could take up to 30 days. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The Pennsylvania and New York police say they've received threats since the suspect's arrest. The Altoona McDonald's, where he was found, has hired private security, and Google has taken down a torrent of negative reviews that have been reported since the arrest. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
We've got a cold start to the day. Got a couple of clouds here and there, but otherwise we're looking at a sunny day. As you can see, clouds decreasing on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Clear skies, but cold temperatures. Warm front, though, tonight. Start making some big changes. Details when we come back.
Well, whether you've already set up your Christmas tree or if you've yet to buy one this year, you don't want to see your money get thrown out of the window if your holiday centerpiece dies prematurely. Forestry experts say there's a lot you can do now to help strengthen your tree throughout the season. Deborah Valentine has the scoop on that and much more.
Decorating for the holidays isn't always cheap.
Noble firs are really nice because they're full, but they still have just enough room.
To help consumers get the most bang for their buck, plant specialists are highlighting several strategies to help give your live decor a chance of surviving through this season. For starters, when it comes to buying trees, you want to eye them for freshness.
Test the needles to make sure they're still flexible and not brittle.
And once you get your tree home,
cut off about a ½ inch on the bottom of the stem of the tree and immediately put it in a basin of cool water.
You'll also want to make sure your tree's stand can hold the proper amount of water.
A 7-foot tree might consume a ½ gallon of water a day for the first week.
Ensuring your tree isn't near heat sources like radiators, fireplaces, or wood stoves is also critical.
And a cool room tends to be better to keep the tree fresher longer.
Just like Christmas trees, where you position your poinsettias can also matter.
You're going to want to find a bright location, not direct full sunlight, but a nice bright window.
But while poinsettias have become synonymous with the winter holiday season,
these are tropical plants that will drop their leaves when they get exposed to the cold weather. The ideal temperature is 65 to 70 degrees, so around room temperature.
To help avoid root rot,
poinsettias get watered about once a week.
Meanwhile, horticulture experts are even working to dispel myths surrounding these potted beauties.
Poinsettias are not poisonous, so we don't have to worry about our children and animals.
Now you can keep your poinsettias alive year-round, and specialists just recommend planting it outside for the summer, but only once the risk of frost and cold vanish. Now let's check in with Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Now we've got clear skies and cold temperatures, winds increasing, and as we head into the weekend, temperatures increasing. Details in your full forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:21 now on this Wednesday morning. We are 2 weeks from Christmas. And it still hasn't really registered with me yet. I'm sure some of you at home are going, wait, what, 2 weeks? Yeah, no, it's coming up fast. It's going to feel a little like Christmas out there. It's going to be cold. Northwest winds will be gusting upwards of 25. We'll have sunny skies, but temperatures not doing much warming. Now, as we go overnight, winds switch out of the south, still gusting upwards of 25. It's ahead of a warm front, or behind a warm front, rather, that's going to lift through the area overnight. Now, when we go into tomorrow morning, it's not going to be warmer, all right? It's still going to be cold, and with those gusty winds, it's going to feel a lot colder. However, that warm front will allow warmer air to work in through the day on Thursday, and by noon tomorrow, we're sitting most of us into the 50s with a gusty southwest wind. We'll also be partly cloudy through the first half of our Thursday, and then clouds will start increasing into the afternoon, and we'll start to go mostly cloudy. We're still dry, though. It's Friday, and we'll start to see some opportunities for some widely scattered showers, maybe even a couple of rumbles of thunder here and there. By Friday morning, the temperatures that we're going to be at by noon today is where we're going to be 5 a.m. Friday. That's how much warmer it's going to start to get. Upper 30s, low 40s. And then as mentioned, we could have a few isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder in the morning. The better chances for a few more widespread showers and a couple of thunderstorms will be in the afternoon and evening. The good news is we're not expecting any severe weather with this activity. We just don't have the right setup for it, which is good. We don't need severe weather, but we do need some rain. 30 in Joplin, feels like 21, and that's with the light, or seemingly light, west-northwest breeze at only 10 miles an hour. Temperatures across the area, excuse me, still some upper 20s, some low. Elise and I both have been doing this all morning. This weather's getting to you. But we got upper 20s, low 30s. But you factor in the wind, feels like 18 now in Iola. And the rest of us still hanging on, feels like it's in the 20s out there. We're going to be 30 to start, clear skies, 37 by 11 a.m. Winds increasing through the morning and eventually gusting out of the northwest, again up about 25. The majority of us should make the low 40s today. Some upper 30s for highs will still be possible. But with the winds gusting, we're all going to feel like it's the 30s. We'll have the clear skies through the evening. A few clouds late this evening overnight, low 30s by 10, lows in the 20s. South winds late tonight start gusting at 25. Southwest breeze tomorrow picks up, increasing clouds, warmer mid-50s. We'll have those scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder Friday. And those rain chances continue through Monday. There's slight chances, but they're there. Look at Sunday, 61 degrees for our high. Then we get to the middle of next week, and we're at 65. We're well above average, might even be approaching record highs in some cases. But showers come in with a cold front. That drops us about 30-some-odd degrees Wednesday night and puts us right back into the 40s and 50s in the second half of next week. That is a check of your forecast, and now here's Elise with a check of Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, late-stage breast cancer is on the rise in the United States. According to a study in the journal Radiology, the number of women with metastatic cancer at this time of diagnosis increased significantly across all ages and ethnicities from 2004 to 2021. Researchers note breast cancer screenings dropped steeply during the COVID pandemic, which may be linked to the increase. A new study suggests cutting children's exposure to their parents' smoking may lower the risk of developing multiple sclerosis later in life, and at least in people who are genetically predisposed to the disease. The researchers in the Netherlands looked at thousands of brain scans and found higher MS genetic risk and household smoking were associated with lower total brain volume. And new findings show higher cardiorespiratory fitness is linked to the preservation of core cognitive abilities in older adults. Now, researchers in Florida found study participants with the highest aerobic fitness performed better on tests involving memory, processing speed, and executive function. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, we'll meet a family that will benefit from your contributions to the KOAM Toy Box project.
And it's cold, but mostly sunny out there as well. It's not sunny yet. You get the idea. It's going to be breezy today, still chilly. Have a look at your forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, we take you for an inside look at where your money goes to support our Toy Box campaign.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:28. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday, December the 11th, 2 weeks from Christmas.
Exciting.
The more I say it, I think the easier it is for me to start processing how close we are, because it doesn't really seem like it.
It's like, just like that.
Yeah, and that means, as you mentioned earlier, it's 3 weeks until 2025.
I can't even, this year went by so incredibly fast.
It certainly did. And so hopefully everyone out there, you're pretty well set for Christmas. I know I've got one more shopping trip I've got to make. But outside of that, you're good to go.
Yeah.
You good to go?
All good to go. Oh, I love shopping for Christmas, so
it's
I
my
had
least
to
favorite.
get it done.
I like it and I hate it. Like, I hate having to fight all the crowds, but I do enjoy buying gifts for folks and
best
for family.
part,
That is the best part. And the best part of waking up is, well, something warm to drink because it's cold outside. Quick look outside from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Starting to see a little daylight out there, getting a little closer to sunrise this morning. Got a couple of clouds on the horizon. MoDOT camera 20th in range line. You can see there's a cloud, there's one, and there was one hiding right behind this banner up there. But otherwise, pretty clear skies, and that's how we're expecting today to be. Sunny but cold. Northwest winds gusting to 25 across the region, so the sun will be a sun of deception. As you look outside, it will look pleasant, but if you open your window or your door, it will not feel pleasant when you walk out there. And then late tonight, get a warm front, and that shifts our winds out of the south. Doesn't help us tonight, but tomorrow starts a pretty good warming trend into the weekend. 30 in Joplin right now, 30 in Pittsburgh as well. Temperatures across the area still holding into the upper 20s and low 30s. It's not bad. I mean, it is December, okay? It's cold, but could be worse, I suppose. We've had worse. Wind chills, though, make it feel a lot worse. 18 is what it feels like in Iola. The rest of us, it does feel like it is in the 20s, and that's going to be the thing today. No matter how warm you do or do not get, it will feel cold all day because we'll have those gusty winds, probably keeping most of our wind chills into the 30s. 30 when the kids get on the bus, clear skies, west breeze, about 5 to 10 miles an hour when that bus brings them home this afternoon. It's still sunny at least, but 41 and the northwest winds again out there. Gusting upwards of 25, maybe 30. Clear skies through today. Most of us should make the upper 40s, or sorry, the low 40s, but some of us may only make the upper 30s. We'll have a few clouds later this evening ahead of that warm front. Like I said, it's another cold night, and then it really starts to warm up as we head into the weekend. Details in the full forecast, and that's coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, 'tis this season to give and ring bells with the Salvation Army. In Joplin, each day before the bell ringers go out, the captains gather and do a morning devotional with prayer and readings. They take this time to go over locations, tips, and say a prayer to get the spirits right. Now, organizers emphasize the importance of the holiday spirit and not just for giving back during the holiday season, but for addressing struggles that continue to grow throughout the year.
Back into the spirit of what the season is for. When they're out there at the kettles, devotions, being able to be at the kettle and knowing they're helping raise funds to help those that are most vulnerable, that are in need throughout the season. All year long, food insecurity, rental assistance, there's a huge struggle all year long, and that struggle is going to be is growing year after year.
The Joplin Salvation Army also offers a worship service every Sunday at 11 a.m. The holiday season can be an especially difficult time for area families who are struggling. Now, oftentimes parents may be forced to make the difficult decision between purchasing gifts or paying bills and putting on food on the table. Now, programs like Toy Box help alleviate some of that holiday stress for families and make Christmas a little bit brighter, just like for this Webb City family.
I mean, this year I told them, I was like, you know, we might not be able to have a big Christmas, but you guys will have something on the tree.
Now, they say they are grateful for the support programs like Toy Box they provide during the holidays. They encourage other families who may need the help to not be ashamed to ask for it. And another Toy Box partner this year is Abernathy Roofing and Construction in Joplin. The construction company also went on a shopping spree for this year's toy drive. And the goal for Abernathy wasn't just to grab toys, but to shop with a specific list of items for area families.
This year we had specifics we had a list of what these children wanted and needed for this holiday season. So we were all over the store this year, going from section to section to find those correct items that they.
If you'd like more information on our Toy Box Toy Drive, such as how to donate and where to donate, just head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And with so much effort getting toys to the families who need them, we couldn't do this by ourselves. Every year, we lean on the support of our community partners, like students and staff at Soaring Heights School in Joplin. And for them, the effort is certainly worth it.
So I really like to give instead of receive. So I usually make stuff for my family, and so this is one thing why I wanted to be on student council, because I love to give, and I feel bad for kids who don't get to have stuff. So that's what it meant to me.
Well, a big thank you to all the kids from Soaring Heights Elementary for helping us shop. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A federal judge blocks Kroger's proposed $25 billion mega merger with Albertsons. And we have a sunny and windy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, with the holidays here, the Grinches are looming near, hoping you'll slip up and fall victim to their scams. Reporter Brian Abell shows us some of the red flags and what to do if you don't catch them in time.
For scammers, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Because we're shopping more than at any point, throughout the year.
Those scams can be anywhere. Email, text messages, even while scrolling social media.
Unfortunately, scammers can follow us just like legitimate marketers. They can track our cookies, see where we're going, see what we're searching for, and then you'll see an ad pop up for something that you searched for maybe an hour ago.
Some of the top scams to be looking out for this year, according to experts, include those package non-delivery alerts. Text from scammers pretending to be shipping companies, hoping you'll click that link. Fake charities asking for a donation, gift card exchange or giveaway schemes, and those fake or misleading social media products.
We see a lot of websites pop up that have the same look and feel as a legitimate retailer, but maybe one of the letters in the URL are off.
There are ways you can protect yourself, your finances, and your data by making sure the business is reputable, strengthening passwords, and by avoiding those questionable links in text or emails.
If a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. If someone's offering it for a quarter of the price, half the price, you definitely vet the company that is offering that, because again, it's likely a scam.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
A federal judge in Oregon blocked the mega merger of grocery stores Kroger and Albertsons. They sided with federal regulators who said the nearly $25 billion deal would lead to higher food prices and fewer consumer options. Now, Kroger and Albertsons argued the merger would lower prices and help their stores compete with grocery giants like Walmart, Costco, and Amazon. Now, separately, a Washington state judge also blocked the merger, saying it would lead to less competition in that state as well. General Motors says it's pulling out of the competitive robo-taxi market and will no longer fund the unit. Instead, GM announced it will focus on personal vehicle autonomous driving capabilities. That includes its Super Cruise system, a hands-free driver assistance system that already exists in more than 20 GM models. And Alaska Airlines is expanding its international travel routes. Next year, the company will offer non-stop flights to Tokyo and Seoul from Seattle. Alaska says it will use its larger Hawaiian Airlines jets for the direct routes after acquiring the company earlier this year. The air carrier says it will also launch a new premium credit card in the summer of 2025 for global travelers. In North Carolina, some college students are taking action to help those without a home and improve the environment. They're converting plastic bags into durable sleeping mats. Elena Laster shows us how.
Roll it up and to make into a ball.
Plarn, or plastic yarn, is made through recycled grocery bags. It all started with one student in Craven Community College's Criminal Justice Department.
All single crochet is like the whole mat.
Brina Van Apeldoorn has been crocheting for 6 years and took on this project herself to help others.
I started thinking maybe I can start making a project that can help people that are experiencing homelessness.
Lead instructor for the Criminal Justice Program, Laura Ann Avery, heard about this project. She wanted to take it up a notch and get the whole class involved.
Became something that I could see going further and being a large help.
So she started by asking for donations of plastic bags.
It takes about 700 bags to make one mat because we're doing it 6 foot by 3 foot. And we've had over 28,000 plastic bags donated.
The project has expanded throughout the school with the welders building a twining loom. And Brina was happy to see it.
It turned from me just being in my room doing this by myself to having other friends help me, and even my teacher taking it and just making this whole thing with it. It's a really big blessing.
That is so scary. Plastic is the ideal material for this project, she says.
Track lice, doesn't track bed bugs. It's very easy to wash, very lightweight, easy for people to use, and should not get hypothermia.
Once completed, the mats will be given to those in need.
That we do have people experiencing homelessness, but it's not just limited to New Bern and Craven County, especially Western North Carolina with the hurricane impacts.
Plastic yarn can be used for a variety of projects like crocheted blankets or bags, and even shoes. And that's a look at Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
We've got a cold start to the day out there, and it'll be cold again tomorrow. We'll talk about that a little later. But first, a live look from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Got a few clouds, nothing too crazy. A beautiful start to the day, though, sunrise-wise. Otherwise, it is, again, cold. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. Again, looking back to the east-northeast, there's a couple of those clouds with the sun starting to rise out there as well. On to the future track we go. By this afternoon, in fact, by late morning, our northwest winds increase, gusting 25, maybe even 30 miles an hour in some cases. So it's going to feel colder regardless of how warm you do or do not manage to get today. But I think most of us at least should make the low 40s. But for some of our northeastern counties, communities, you may only make the upper 30s. But again, it won't matter because just about everybody, it's going to feel like the 30s through most of today. Overnight, warm front lifts to the north, brings in southerly winds, still gusting at 25-30. It does not have an impact on our temperatures tonight, but it will have an impact on our temperatures tomorrow and into the weekend. We're sitting at 30 in Joplin right now, as well as Pittsburgh, and across the area, temperatures, they look like that. We've got some upper 20s still mixed in. Most of us, though, hanging out in the low 30s. But again, that point is moot because even with the light breeze this morning, it feels like 18 in Iola, 19 in Fort Scott. And the rest of us, again, still feels like it is in the 20s. So a chilly start, to say the least, which means kids getting onto this big yellow school bus will want a coat while they wait for it. 30. West breeze 5 to 10, clear skies. I will have clear skies and those gusty northwest winds by this afternoon, pushing 25, 30, going about 41 when the bus brings them back home. As I mentioned, we have I'm so used to cold weather. Warm front coming in tonight. It's really going to warm things up over the next several days. It's also going to bring us later some chances for rain. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast in just a moment. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries as we do traditionally at this time of the morning. But first, we're going to check in New York and see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you. I'm Gail Kane. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, Keanu Reeves will talk with us about joining the popular Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise. Plus, we'll introduce you to a multi-talented musician. She's scoring movies, she's performing with some very big stars, and she's only 23 years old. She's good. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to start in Pittsburgh with Tate Bollinger celebrating the big number 1 today. Happy birthday.
And in Fort Scott, a happy 16th birthday to Lane Laird. And it says here that Lane won bull riding in Kearney, Missouri last summer. So a big congratulations to you. That must be the moment.
I was going to say, I think that must be the moment right there. That's that boy, bull riding. That is impressive. Well, we're going to head over to the south, to the west, to Fredonia, where Chuck Ward, celebrating birthday number 68, says happy birthday from your wife.
And in Oswego, a happy 69th birthday to Mike Swallen.
And in Columbus, Pam Gordado, celebrating birthday number 77, says happy birthday from the class of 65, Cherokee County Rural High School.
And David and Earlene Ford celebrating their 35th anniversary. Happy anniversary.
All right, and our list continues with Steve Basinger in Webb City, celebrating birthday number 57. Happy birthday.
And last but not least, happy birthday to Betsy Vale.
All right, that is a very nice list of birthdays and anniversaries. We know it can be considerably longer because there are, tens of thousands of people in the 4 states, and I imagine a lot of them celebrate birthdays throughout the year. If you want to celebrate with us, though, to make the occasion even more special, what should they do, Elise?
Yes, go ahead and submit those birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos, messages to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen. That's very important. It's also important to include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Certainly so, and we are cold this morning. Okay, I got to work on that. I sound like William Shatner. I like the guy, I like Captain Kirk, but my speech is off this morning. Let's correct that by moving into normal mode. We've got a beautiful start to the day. We've got some clouds. Look at that sunrise, though, blended with the clouds. It looks absolutely beautiful from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Our camera 7th and range line, back up. There's those clouds again. So they're well off to the east, but obviously we can still see them. Otherwise, it's just a beautiful start to the day. You can get a nice look at that sunrise from the MoDOT camera, 20th in range line, as it looks back to the east-northeast. And then the MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, it is pointed back to the west. So, it's not seeing the sunrise just yet, but it is seeing folks getting their day underway. Probably have the heat on because it's quite cold out there. Future track into this afternoon. Here's what we're looking at. Northwest winds will be gusting. They'll pick up by about mid-morning, gusting around 25, maybe 30 miles an hour in some cases, and it's going to keep it cold. So temperatures today, some of you, in fact, most of us should make the low 40s. Some of our northeastern communities may only make the upper 30s, but with those gusty winds, for the majority of us, it's going to feel like it's in the 30s all day. Tonight, few clouds overnight, so mostly clear skies. Warm front passes through. Now, the only thing that we're going to notice at first is going to be the winds shifting out of the south. They're still going to be gusting 25, 30 miles an hour, and it's still going to be cold. By 5 a.m. tomorrow, we're starting the day 20s and 30s, but with those gusty winds, wind chills will be considerably lower. However, as we go through the day on Thursday, first half of the day is partly cloudy, temperatures warming quickly with a southwest wind gusting 25 to 30 miles an hour in some cases, putting the majority of us into the 50s by noon. In the second half of our Thursday, though, clouds begin to increase. We'll start to go mostly cloudy overnight, still pretty mild. Look at these temperatures 5 o'clock tomorrow, still upper 40s and low 50s out there. Because of the clouds, remember, that acts as a thermal blanket, and it helps trap in some of that warmer air that we managed to get through the afternoon on Thursday. So by Friday morning, the temperatures that we're starting the day with at 5 a.m. are close to the temperatures we're expecting as highs today, which is just a sign as to how much warm air is going to come in with this system, with this front as we head into Thursday. So by Friday, though, in the morning, could have some isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two. We'll have slightly better chances as we head into the afternoon for a few more of these scattered showers. It looks like at this point, not everybody necessarily will see rain, but we'll have chances across the entire region for a few stray showers. And again, maybe a rumble of thunder. The good news is we're not anticipating any severe weather. We just do not have the ingredients for that out there, which is great. We need the rain. We don't need severe weather, especially not in December. 30 in Joplin right now. It does feel like 21. That's without any wind gusts. Winds west-northwest at 10. Temperatures across the region still holding out into the upper 20s for some of us. A number of us, though, into the low 30s. But again, you factor in even that light northwest breeze, and we've got teens. Feels like 18 in Iola, 19 in Fort Scott. Elsewhere, it's still feeling like it is in the 20s. So again, a cold start. 30 by 8, clear skies, winds increasing, and 37 by 11 o'clock this morning. We'll have another look at your forecast, plus the news you need to know. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see how a new program in Arizona is setting kids in foster care up for success.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. An appeals court rules the city of Tulsa has the authority to prosecute a non-member Indigenous defendant for offenses committed within eastern Oklahoma in Indian Territory. The Quapaw Nation believes this ruling is harmful to tribal sovereignty. The Quapaw says the ruling underscores tensions between federal, state, and tribal authorities regarding jurisdiction in Indian country. And a camera captures the moment when a train slices through a tractor-trailer truck. The incident happened on Enterprise Road near the Joplin-Webb City line around 1:45 p.m. Fire departments from both jurisdictions responded, and remarkably, the truck driver was unhurt and the train engineer had what appears to be a minor shoulder injury. And the Joplin Regional Community Foundation awarded more than $24,000 in grant money to 16 local agencies. Representatives from each of the recipient organizations had the opportunity to discuss their missions and share their plans for the upcoming year. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, grab a coat, grab a sweater, grab all those things because it is cold and it will not do a lot of warming today. Sunny skies, highs for most of us, low 40s, maybe some upper 30s, but that northwest wind gusting to 25. It will feel like the 30s for most of us all day. We'll have clear skies initially, low 30s by 10, a few clouds overnight. Warm front comes through overnight as well. Winds shift out of the south, still gusting to 25. 20s for our lows, and then we'll start to warm up. Still breezy tomorrow, mid 50s, even some 60s on this forecast, which could potentially break some records next week, or at least get close to. A couple isolated showers, thunderstorms possible Friday, a few more showers through Monday. More with a cold front Wednesday. Drops our temperatures again.
It's 65 in
65
December. That's
is
crazy.
wild.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making Cumberland pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
As your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings, the end of the year travel rush is expected to begin next week. Coming up on CBS Mornings, why now is the time to book your winter getaway.
Break and switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll learn about a dating trend called cuffing season and how singles use it to look for love with a time limit.
Plus, Priest Jeffers Reed joins us in the studio to talk about an upcoming jazz concert that also benefits a local nonprofit. That's going to do it for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And I'll see you today at noon.